Throughout Origin's long history of publishing games, their games have always been greeted with great expectations. Pacific Strike is no exception. This is the first screen you'll see when you enter Pacific Strike. It would be logical to select Start a New Game. Instead, you just start out on an airfield that's under attack. The career game was quite hard for me to get into, but after you get past the first few missions, Pacific Strike starts to feel just like a Wing Commander game. As you might have already guessed, the interaction in Pacific Strike is just like that of any other sim that they create. Talk to people, get the lowdown, then off you go to do some fighting. The cinematics are well done, but I don't see why the speech pack doesn't give speech to the characters out of combat. Once you get into the actual combat, you begin to see why Origin's games are so eagerly anticipated. The graphics are beautifully detailed with incredible color. Aside from minor problems like losing sight of your enemies in the background clouds and some rare blockiness, I'd say that Origin is king of the graphics mountain. As with Pack Strike's spiritual predecessor Strike Commander, you can pan around your cockpit by holding down a button and moving the joystick. When you release the button, your view snaps back to face forward. This is definitely a great feature. Pacific Strike's speed is decent on a 486-66 with 8 megs of RAM. The graphics scroll smoothly and there's only minor slowdown when objects pile up on the screen. I found that turning off the clouds helped speed up the game quite a bit without sacrificing realism. One problem I did have was that every time a new sound was loaded, the game would pause for about 1 second. To be fair, the sounds were some of the best I've ever heard, and the speech almost perfect. I wouldn't have minded the pause so much, except my 8 megs of RAM was twice their requirement. I would have liked to see some of that extra memory used to preload some of the commonly used sounds to eliminate some of those annoying pauses. If you don't feel like actually starting a career, you can go at your own pace and select Instant Action at the main menu. Unfortunately, the instant action is not all that instant. It takes a good 3 or 4 minutes to create a single mission, and even if you replay, it takes the same amount of time to reload it. The music isn't bad, but it gets old in a hurry. It would be nice to have a variety of tunes to choose from during my flight. My only other gripe is that the options screen can only be accessed during combat, and not from any of the other menus. Pacific Strike is a downright fun game. Although it does have a few minor quirks, they aren't likely to bug you unless you're as anal retentive as I am and don't really detract from the overall enjoyment of the game. If realistic action and intense graphics get your adrenaline pumping, look no further. Pacific Strike is the game for you.